on the tip of Greenland, and we're just entering the Sound. And as you can see, it's our first iceberg. Whether I see any more going through the Sound at all, I wouldn't know. And if I swing round, in the distance you can see the land mass, Greenland itself, with the ice fields, and there's a glacier coming down to the sea. There's another iceberg, sailing away like a ship. Must be about 300 yards away from us. It's not a very big one, but who knows? I'm taking this just in case we don't see any big ones. Cruising very slowly down the Sound. At the moment we're sat in the warm.
Sorry, I always talk to yourself.
In the self-service restaurant. Here we just passing another headland with plenty of snow on it. We're just
our left-hand side as we enter the south side to the Sund. You can see what Captain Steen was telling me about, that you can see the masts of the weather station and the radio station. And behind that somewhere will be the lighthouse, or the light tower. So once we get past this large chunk of rock, if we look back, as I said, over our shoulder, we may see something more. We are now slowly altering course, and we're coming round to 280, and then we'll be altering slightly again for it's going to be something like 60 miles, 60 nautical miles. And the first half, as I said, is comparatively straight. We've got the first half to do more or less on the same course, which will be west by north, something like 285 degrees our compass heading. And this is where we're going to see it quite spectacular. In figures and statistics, we're now down under 11 knots, we're down to 10.8 knots. Our present course is 281, that's west. With early European migrants as well. I suppose we've got to admire the fact that Greenland is blessed with a very, which means in their language, land of man. But of course the capital, which I had realised, has changed its name. It used to be called Gotland.
As we're cruising down, I forgot to start it. As we're cruising down the Sound, we came across this glacier on the right, and as you can see, it comes right down to the water's edge. Roxy on the side.
On the internet.
We're just slowly cruising down this sound, and I'm now taking this from the looking back along the ship. There's our big cinema screen at the two pools, and obviously the scenery outside. It's a beautiful setting. It's a lovely day considering this is Iceland.
Greenland.
Greenland. We're well wrapped up, of course, but because it's very nice.
Now that we've passed this glacier that's slipping away down to starboard, is we're thinking of
and another glacier. Here's another glacier, and the ship has stopped so that we can all take photographs of it.
Slowed down quite a lot. You're going to have to rerun them with all the assistance of the
So this glacier is comes right from the polar ice cap.
Opportunity to see and look at this kind of look glacier, and then after that we will slowly return back to port and head towards that very impressive scenery ahead. For those of you who are keen photographers, just look at the sun on top of that ice cap ahead, and when you think we are going through there. And then after that, I'll talk to you in more detail, but we've got some major alterations in course at speed to do, which will be quite dramatic. But if you look at these bits and pieces of broken ice that are floating down, all different shapes, you look at the ones over on the, that's not unusual, but when you see it, it does look dramatic and does make for good pictures. There are some up ahead, if you look towards that narrow gap into which we're going. So the opportunities for photography this afternoon are going to be quite something. The weather forecast is to remain more or less as we have at present, and the ice pilot, Captain Shane, is impressed himself with weather like this. Last time he was up here, the weather was far from being like this, and visibility was poor, but today we've got nigh on perfect conditions with...
Okay, here we are. Here's a lovely photograph guy with the snow in the background and the waterfall coming down off the cliff. Okay, here we are. Here we again, another glacier, and as you can see, it's melting off the cliff face and coming down in a waterfall. Here's the channel we've got to go down. It seems to be getting even narrower. Okay? Yeah.
Some parts of Alaska as well, but usually it's not that.
You can see even down this narrow waterway, you know, there's icebergs floating along, large ones and small ones, look, bits of ice. Okay, this is where we're going. Down, this is what we call the Narrows, and if you look closely, you'll see little icebergs in the way. The wind's blowing a bit now. This is how close we are to the shore. Coming down this waterway. I can almost touch it. And if I swing round, you'll see little bits of ice here and there. Here we are then, we're sitting at the bar at the rear end of the ship. If I swing around, you can see the view that we have. We're in a bit of a covered area. And there we are, that's the view. And a bit more. Here we are.
Bye.
Hi. Now we're trying to turn this corner. You can see where we've come from that very small area there.
So we look ahead now to starboard, some 2 to 3 points on the starboard bow.
Crumbs. It's unbelievable how close we are to everything.
No, you just don't know what you don't.
Look at the colour of that. Eh? You watch, you'll see the boat swinging round this very sharp corner.
We're actually sailing around an island, and if we look to the land ahead of us, which is going to be on our port side fairly soon, that is an island. And we're off in course with this big alteration in course, as I said, of about 130 degrees. And if you look ahead on the what will become the new port stations ahead of us, but what we're looking at right ahead of us now is actually an island, and we're actually changing course to go around it.
You see the boat actually pivoting round its own axis. Swing round this corner.
You ought to, when we get in, put it straight on to charge, because we don't know what we need for tomorrow.
Fishing. They have a church, they possibly have one shop. The pilot is not sure on that. But they are virtually trapped where they live. They have no means by land of getting anywhere. And so they rely entirely.
Okay, we've done a bit of a zigzag. come into this little really wide bit. Where are we going now? Down there. That you shouldn't have any fur at all.
Well, that's because they're stupid. And what's the point if you kill the rabbit to eat, what is the point in throwing away the fur? You should use everything.
Well, you shouldn't eat rabbit.
Ah, I bet they eat meat, most of them. Chicken and so forth.
And now that we've settled on this leg, this particular course, that village I was telling you about, Epiledok, that's it, fine to starboard. It's very difficult to see, even with binoculars, but that's it, very fine on.
If you like, that's it. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. This really is one in a million.
This is the only settlement along this
150 inhabitants.
part, and it has about 115 inhabitants. There's no road. The only way to get in and out, there's none on there, in and out is by boat. Oh, I got it. God, I got a beautiful one. Zoom right in though. Hold still though, hold your hands still.
Rain. Very nicely built properties.
Yeah.
Oh, look here.
There we are, there's this little village right up above the Arctic Circle in Greenland. And look, if you look closely, this one's stilts, that one. Where? Hey? Go on.
Well, that's showing off then. It is, isn't it? Wonderful.
Probably the station for the ship. He said there was like 20
Okay, there it is again from a different angle. Yeah, you're going to lose it, Di. There we are, that's how remote it is. Right in the middle of this mountainous range, right on the shore. Look at this beautiful weather we've having. Iceberg, albeit a little bit small, but not bad size really. Considering this is just down this little channel, and we could have crashed into that. And there's the mountains in the distance, bathed in sunlight. Beautiful afternoon sun. This is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh well.